Parents of Reddit, what was the worst thing you got caught doing by your children? Hi Reddit guys, subscribe now, or I will make your first girlfriend. Not my personal story, but I have a friend who when she was about 10 or so walked in on her parents going at it. Rightly horrified, she ran downstairs to the basement and promptly walked in on her older sister and some guy going at it too. She says that she didn't talk to any of them for a week. Poor kid. When my daughter was in elementary school she needed a jump drive for something. I gave her one that I knew was okay. The day that she needed it she tried it and there was some kind of a problem with it, so I grabbed another one to give to her. You probably already guessed it. There was that folder on there from when I was tossing away an old backup hard drive. She must have opened it up. She did not tell me about it until she was about 19. All I could do was say whoops. For a second, I thought you meant she was doing a presentation on the perils of artificial intelligence. My wife and I during one of our rare copulations were doing it on the couch. I had like a 30-second orgasm that was loud and proud. The stairs to our house have a landing where you look around the wall and see the whole living room. After my unusually and exceedingly long orgasm I hear my 6-year-old's voice emanating from the stairs asking Daddy why are you laying on mommy going oh. I stubbed my toe and it hurt so much I fell over on mommy. Go to bed and he did. I'm pretty sure he'll put it together when he's old enough. Ow. I stubbed my toe and accidentally undressed your mum and then I fell over and my dong fell into your mom. Not me, but a friend of mine. He self-medicated with alcohol and drank around his kids almost constantly. One occasion he was angry about something one of the kids did. His youngest daughter went to the fridge and handed him a beer and told him he needed to calm down. He hasn't had a drop since. Damn. It's a good thing that scared the drink out of him. If that didn't do it, I don't think anything would have. I talk alone all the time. My children are under 2. Soon, they'll realize their mum likes to discuss with herself. Oh well. Your children are under 2. They're perfect for this as you can just talk to them instead. Same result and now you can do it in public. I'm not a parent, but I caught my dad having an affair on my stepmom with my mom. Luckily I didn't see anything horrific. Does this mean we're a family again? Well yes, but actually no. I have never seen a better use for this line lol. I was changing my daughter when she was a toddler, who was about 14 months old, and the little monkey was wriggling around trying to escape. She almost fell off the change table, and I said it. There was a few seconds of silence which was broken by her little voice saying it perfectly. Oh. I was sure that she'd start saying that all of the time, because I laughed when she said it. She didn't say it again, though. Changing that kid's nappy was like trying to put clothes on a cat. Luckily toddlers don't have claws and she wasn't a biter. I was in the kitchen doing something and I blurted out son of a, but trailed off before finishing the sentence. My 6-year shouts from the living room itch. 6-year-olds are good for that. An ice pack fell out of the freezer and rocketed off the fridge into my ankle. I yelled OW and my angelic 6-year-old daughter yelled frick. With a great big smile on her face. I worry that she'll have a sailor mouth. This is the same child who, as a toddler, pronounced cotton balls as cock and balls. Cotton ball torture. My 5-year-old who was supposed to be sleeping decided to barge into our room while I was on top of my significant other. I was already yelling no while the door was opening, so he only got a glimpse while touring around to shut the door. I threw some clothes on and followed him out to tuck him back into bed. He asked me what I was doing on top of dad, so me being my quick thinking self, told my son that I was cracking dad's back. LOL. Son says, oh like Dr. Kevin, my chiropractor. I said exactly like that. Hopefully that's not how Dr. Kevin cracks backs. 15 years later kid visits the chiropractor. So when should I take off all my clothes so the doctor can climb on top of me? It could actually be true though. I remember back in elementary school this kid said he went for a checkup. He told me he took off all his clothes and touched him there. Your comment randomly made me remember and the kid was probs being raped. For years I thought all doctors did this. Eating chocolate without sharing. So one day I was cleaning up and I come across an open packet of M&Ms. I eat a few, naturally, and I put the rest of the packet in the kitchen where they belong. Next thing I know, my daughter is glaring daggers at me, asking if I ate her M&Ms. Of course I told the truth and said, I don't know. She haughtily informed me that earlier in the day there had been 29 M&Ms in the pack and now there were only 17, and she could never trust me again. I was like, you seriously count your M&Ms? Lord have mercy. I eat a few. Eats 12 whole M&Ms. Greedy. Not actually bad, but my wife had wanted to rearrange our bedroom closet for a long time, but just couldn't find the time with our, at the time, 2-year-old son constantly underfoot. She was out of the house one afternoon, so I decided to surprise her by taking out all the clothes and putting them back the way she wanted. My son was watching and saw me drape her miniskirts and dresses over my arms and shoulders so I could move them out efficiently. My wife came home and when she asked him what we'd been up to, he casually said, "Papa was wearing your clothes." My wife shot me a weird glance and I gave her that "I'll explain later" hand gesture, that's part of the non-verbal communication every couple develops after many years together. I'm over a foot taller than her and close to 2.5 times her weight, so I'm sure the mental image that flashed in her head was very confusing. When my son was about 7 or 8, me and the wife were getting it on in the early hours of the morning. My wife said she locked our bedroom door and to this day she would swear that she did. We were being very quiet, but he walked into our room so quietly we didn't hear him. All of a sudden I hear my wife say, "Jake." I turned my head and there he was, just standing next to the bed with a very confused look on his face. "I think your son is Nightwalker 44. He explains how he got into your room while you were boning." Few comments up. Having a depression nap. Sob in bed. I wasn't doing anything wrong, but I wish she hadn't seen. At least until she was old enough to understand. Seeing mum or dad being human, falling and failing, or breaking down are wonderful lessons. It teaches them they don't have to be perfect either. It teaches them empathy and love. When your child is old enough, it will click and they will appreciate you all the more. Stay strong. I still remember walking into the kitchen as an 80-year-old and seeing my mum sitting on the floor crying. Still breaks my heart 20 years later. She'll always be a superhero to me, and seeing her being human reminds me that we're all just trying to figure out this life. Not the parent, but the child in this story. We all moved in with my grandma as times were hard. My mum really hated grandma, to the point apparently she didn't even want to walk through the house to pee. We were all watching a movie in my mom's room, and I see a can of Lay's stacks, like Pringles. Popped that sucker open and tilted it down to get me some chips, but got covered in my mom's piss instead. She was peeing in a Lay's can. Went straight to the shower and they never knew, but what the frick? What the frick indeed. Upvoted so it's higher up and everyone can say with you, what the frick. Back in time people recorded TV shows on VHS tapes. My uncle brought us a documentary about wild animals in Africa. It was a Sunday night. All family gathered. Me, 10 years old, my sister, 5 my parents and my grandparents, that is my uncle's parents, were sitting on the couch to see it. Let's just say that what we saw was wild, very wild. As soon as he realized that it was his peen tape, he desperately tried to shut it down, pressing all the buttons on the remote. Having failed, he stood up and pressed our old TV buttons, failing to change the channel and increasing the sound in process. So I was laughing. My sister wasn't understanding anything. My grandma was covering his eyes. Grandpa was paralyzed in shock. Mum and dad also trying to help my poor uncle. In the end, someone managed to eject the tape. It all happened in like 5 seconds, but I'm sure for my uncle it lasted a lot more than that. Caught my dad wanking to an episode of Jerry Springer once. Not a parent story as my kids are still babies, but that was horrible. Dad never knew I saw either. Not a parent, but a forever scarred child. I think I was like 10 when this happened. I had recently discovered the wonderful world of picking locks with bobby pins and walked around the house checking for locked doors I could pick. I found a door that was locked and it was my parents' bedroom door. I proceeded to pick it and saw my dad's naked ass sticking up in the air, and that's about it before my mum yelped when she realized the door was open now. I quickly shut the door and ran to my room 2 floors down. I stopped picking bedroom door locks after that. Is your name Jake? When I was playing GTA 5 and he caught me kicking cats in game. It took me several hours to calm him down. He was perfectly fine with all the murder and thefts. But kicking cats was a line in the sand. Straight up murdering that pussy. It seems most parents were caught slaying pussy in one way or another. My so's daughter caught her giving me a BJ. Worst part was that we didn't notice and she didn't say anything till the next morning. We are eating breakfast and she just blurts out, "Is gimme 3 strokes PP okay? I saw mommy kissing it an awful lot last night." There were 3 other kids in the room and 2 of them knew exactly what she was talking about. Even more awkward that she calls you by your Reddit username. Even more awkward is his username. Just give him 3 strokes. Okay Reddit guys, subscribe now, or I will make your first girlfriend.